So here's the big question. How do you sell heavy-duty parts in a digital world? That's the question, and this is the place where you're going to find the answers. My name is Jamie Irvin, and we are live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to another live stream. So happy to have you here today. Today is Thursday, September the 9th, and I am happy to be here to talk to you today about this ongoing conversation that we're having about how to sell heavy-duty parts in a digital world. This is a live stream, so if you'd like to comment and be part of the live stream today or ask a question, I'd be happy to have you join me today in the conversation. And also, just before we get into today's subject, the live stream today is sponsored by the Heavy-Duty Parts Report, my podcast that comes out on Mondays. Head over to heavydutypartsreport.com and follow the show for free. Look forward to having you over there. We're talking to heavy-duty parts specialists and industry experts all about how to lower cost per mile for fleets, how to lower total cost of operation. And there's some great stuff there. So head over to heavydutypartsreport.com and check out the show. So today we are talking about using Facebook ads to sell heavy-duty parts. The reality is, if you're going to use an e-commerce platform to sell heavy-duty parts, if you're going to create a digital sales channel that is fully integrated into your company, then you need sufficient traffic to your website to make that work. You can have the absolute best, most beautiful, best working website in the world. And if people aren't going to it, it's not going to generate revenue. Now, of course, when you first set up your e-commerce platform, you're going to get some existing customers who are going to start to buy from you using the e-commerce store. This actually is very good for business, although it doesn't create net new revenue. But why it's very good for business is that it lowers your cost of accepting those orders. And that's good for the bottom line. Probably it's going to take some pressure off of the infrastructure on your, at your store, on your counter, in the warehouse, and you're going to allow your people to spend more time on some of the complex sales that require a more one-on-one or in-person interaction. But at some point, you're going to want to grow the revenue. You're going to want this digital sales channel to be a major stream of net new business for you. And in order for that to work, you've got to have traffic to your site. And one of the most cost-effective ways to get people to your website is using Facebook ads. Now, Facebook ads are kind of a 2-for-1 opportunity for you, because once you set up your business suite with Facebook, you also can run ads on Instagram. So you're getting 2 of the big social media channels where you can place your ads. Now, one of the biggest advantages, of course, to the ad products using Facebook ads is that you can make them very hyper targeted on the exact kind of people who would be interested in the parts that you're selling. You can target them based on their interests, based on the demographics, based on their geography. So you can even geofence your ads so that you're not spending money advertising in a region where you don't have a store, or where shipping times are too long with your e-commerce store, where the person just, isn't going to wait 3 days for a part that they need to get a truck back on the road. So you can geofence your ads. So it's all about targeting the right people in the right locations who are actually interested in the products that you sell. Of course, too, you can set the ads up in such a way that you only pay for clicks. You can also set it up where you also pay for how many times people see the ads, and brand awareness is an important part of this. But realistically, we're trying to get people to the site. So it's really important to track the conversions in order to get the best return on investment for your marketing dollars. So, it starts with getting people to leave Facebook and come to your site. But then what behavior do you want them to engage in once they're on your site? That's where you have to track all of these steps through your sales channel Make sure that you're not leaking out prospects and that you're converting sufficient amounts of customers in order to make the advertising basically cost neutral. So when you spend money on advertising and you have sufficient conversions, even if you don't make any money on the first sale, even if that just pays for the advertising, when they come back and buy a second time, then all of a sudden you're making money and you don't have any additional costs. So this is all about acquiring new customers. It's about capturing those sales, getting those people into your system, getting them into your network, and then being able to retarget them through means that don't cost additional money, like an email campaign or having a salesperson follow up with them and get them to buy again. Or hopefully you don't even have to do any follow up. They just have such a good experience that they're going to buy from your e-commerce site again and again and again and again. So there's a lot to this. And one of the things that's really important is when you're making your advertising what they call ad copy. So if you're making a video or an image or you're writing out text and headlines, chances are you're not going to get this right the first time. So it's very important in the beginning to do what they call split testing. And this is where we take two different ads, we target them at the exact same group of people, and we put a limited budget to each one, and then we look at which one performed better. And that gives us some clues as to how to make the copy better. So then we eliminate the one that performed poorly. And then we try to take some lessons from what made this ad perform better and we try to make it better again. And we're constantly split testing ads so that you start to learn over time what works to get people to your site and get them to start buying off of your site. Now, let's talk about budget for a moment here. I have been very impressed with the amount of money that it costs with Facebook ads to actually get some real traction. It's not as expensive as you might think. It's actually very cost effective. But I also see a lot of companies really hesitating to spend money in this area. And the reason why I think comes down to a lack of confidence that there's going to be a return on investment. And so what you don't want to do is you don't want to go and spend $5,000 on an ad that you don't know if it's going to work or not, right? Spend $100 on one ad, spend $100 on another ad, split test them, figure it out, start to make your ads better, improve the copy. And then once you spend, let's say, two or $300 on this one specific ad and you get a conversion and you look at the return on investment that was generated, you can kind of reverse engineer those numbers and you can say, well, now that I know this works, I can slowly start to increase my budget over time, which is then going to allow you to track and make sure that when you scale that ad, the conversions stay consistent and you can count on that return on investment. And like I said earlier, really on the first purchase, even if you don't make any money, you want to make money, but even if you didn't, if you just broke even, but that person then becomes a repeat customer, you've won. You've paid the price to acquire a new customer, and then you get to reap the benefits over and over and over again as they come back, because you don't have to keep paying Facebook for that person to come back to your site. They're just going to come back to your site all on their own. So we have to really get our mindset around this and we have to think about it in the right way. Now, over the years, traditionally speaking, heavy duty parts companies have not batted an eye at hiring an outside salesperson, and between what you pay them in salary and commissions and the cost of their vehicle and their expense account and holidays and maybe 401k contributions and insurance, medical insurance, all of those costs, easily you can spend $10,000 a month on one salesperson. And for a lot of heavy duty parts companies, they're employing many, many, many salespeople. So it's a big dollar amount that they're allocating towards sales and creating new revenue opportunities. I'd really like you to think about your digital sales channel as one salesperson. Now, that gives you an idea of how much money you should be spending on advertising and promoting the digital sales channel. This digital sales channel never is sick, requires no 401k or medical insurance, works 24/7, and has a reach that is far, far greater than any individual salesperson. Now, am I advocating that we get rid of salespeople? No, I'm not. But what I'm saying is that as a leader of your heavy duty parts company, you need to start looking at your digital sales channel as if it was a salesperson, and we should be putting at least the same amount of money as we put towards a salesperson towards promoting our digital sales channel. By doing this, we are going to then add a new revenue stream to the company. And like I said, a revenue stream that is far more consistent than any human being. One of the things that happens with sales account managers working at heavy duty parts companies is it the job becomes very repetitive. They see the same 80 customers week after week, month after month, and it becomes very difficult to think of what to do next, how to be creative, how to take that customer to the next level. And sometimes there is no next level. Sometimes you've taken them as far as you're going to. You've got maybe 40% of their parts purchases. You're never going to get more than that. And it's just about maintenance. And so if we could get a large group of our customers to be buying the commodity type products on our e-commerce platform, and if we could have our ads bringing in new customers, when those new customers come in and they're buying those commodity type things through the digital sales channel, there's an opportunity now for the salespeople to go visit them and to start engaging in more of the complex sales. Maybe convincing them to go with a better brake lining or a higher grade spring brake line, or talking to them about engine parts, something that we've never sold to them through our digital sales channel on our e-commerce site. So you can see how these two things are not either or, but rather the digital sales channel and your traditional sales people, they all can work together to make your whole company perform better. And the end result is the customer benefits. You become more customer centric and you make it easier for the customer to do business with you. And the most expensive part of getting growing sales, the most expensive way to grow sales is to go find new customers. And so once you have spent the money to get a new customer, you want to do everything you can to sell them more products. And so Facebook ads, Instagram ads, this is a big part of generating new opportunities with your digital sales channel, opening the door to new opportunities to access new customers. But you need a total strategy behind that in order for it to truly be effective. Now, if you'd like to work with me, I would love the opportunity to work with you. And if you'd like to work with me on your digital sales channel, the transition to it, the adoption of it, the integration of it into your business model, I'd love that opportunity. So send me an email, jamie@heavydutypartsreport.com. We then can set up a meeting. We'll talk about your specific situation, and you can look at one of our consulting packages to help you with your marketing, with your messaging, with your overall strategy, integrating e-commerce and digital ads and things like that into the overall strategy and making this work for you so that you will be more successful selling heavy duty parts in a digital world. Go ahead, jamie@heavydutypartsreport.com, send me an email, and that will start the process. Next week, we're going to continue the conversation about advertising products, and we're going to look at the Google suite of products. We're going to talk about how that can be used to get more website traffic. We're going to integrate that into the Google business listings and all of those things in the Google product, which is very different than the Facebook product. And yet some of the fundamentals remain the same, but it's a little different strategy. So we'll talk about that next week. Thank you so much for tuning in to this live broadcast, and I look forward to talking to you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.